SmackDown came on early tonight, so if you don't want spoilers, you might need to stop watching this video because it's my one take, one shot review where I do it immediately following SmackDown. That way you get my gut reaction. Can't change my mind later, and I don't cut, I don't edit these videos at all. So let's talk about it. You got 3 seconds to shut off the video. 3, 2, 1. Dominik Mysterio advanced in the King of the Ring. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness. He's facing Oba Femi, and he even called out Oba Femi. He said, your days are numbered, Oba, at the end. And it's like, okay, Dom. But honestly, there's a chance. There is a chance to get Dirty Dom in the main event of SummerSlam. I think he's got a shot at the King of the Ring. I really do. When you look at the bracket. So, first off, he has to overcome the ruler, Oba Femi, right? How does he overcome Oba Femi? Well, Brock Lesnar. Well, they're 1-1, remember? And we got to get them to have their rubber match. So, if during the Oba and Dominik match, and Oba Femi gets, Brock Lesnar comes and interferes and costs Oba the match, well, Dirty Dom advances. And if you look at the other side of the brackets, in one of the Fatal 4-Ways, you have Finn Balor. So Finn Balor wins his bracket, right? And then on the other Fatal 4-Way, you have Seth freaking Rollins. Seth wins his match. And then those two go. Yet Finn versus Seth. Those guys have a history. In fact, they reminded us tonight that Finn was the first ever Universal Champion. Who did he beat? Seth freaking Rollins. And Seth injured him, so that title reign only lasted 1 day. And so, what if we have Finn Balor beat Seth here? And then that reestablishes Finn as a a top guy. He gets a big win over Seth Rollins. But Finn and Dirty Dom, they definitely have a history together. So we could have them completely blow off that feud with Dirty Dom winning against Finn Balor and thus becoming King of the Ring. Or we have Seth Rollins win. He beats Finn Balor. Maybe Dom actually interferes and helps Seth win against Finn because he hates him so much. But here's the deal. Dom and Seth have a history together too, because at the 2020 SummerSlam, in front of nobody, the pandemic, Seth fought a young Dominik Mysterio in his first match of all time. So maybe Dom wants to get some revenge on that. And so Dom can face Seth freaking Rollins there. And then Dom wins the King of the Ring there. And he then goes up against Cody Rhodes, who those two actually have chemistry together. I can't remember if it was before WrestleMania 39 or after WrestleMania 39, but basically that summer, Cody Rhodes and the Judgment Day had a lot of words with each other, and Dom and Cody, they were pretty much the house circuit, so they have chemistry. Cody Rhodes versus King Dominik, and Dominik even says he's the king of the luchadors, so there is a path. We are right now in a timeline in which there's a real possibility that Dirty Dom can become king and pick a title to face for at SummerSlam. And who knows? Maybe he wins. Maybe they pull the trigger and Dom becomes the next champion. And if you people out there want to become the next Wrestle Chop champion, I'm giving away this belt on my shoulder. All you got to do to win is comment below and subscribe to the channel. You see, at 30,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away this belt on my quest to quit my day job. It's not a toy. It's a replica, and you can win it. And Dirty Dom can win the title because he's not picking Roman Reigns. Let's be honest about that. He won't go for that world champion. He'll go for the undisputed title. I no longer own an undisputed title because I gave that away for my 20,000 giveaway, which I'll post a picture soon. It's been received. My belt has been received in the last contest. So, but yeah, Dirty Dom. What do you guys feel about that? What do you gals feel about Dirty Dom beating Oba Femi and advancing to SummerSlam? I don't want Oba Femi to lose, I'm going to be honest with you, but because he's already lost, that the aura of undefeatedness, it's gone. So, yeah, that's the one issue I have with Dirty Dom getting to SummerSlam, to be honest with you. But I think if Brock Lesnar does attack, mixed emotions. I would love for Obafemi and or Dirty Dom to win, to be honest with you. So, like, whoever wins that match, I'm going to be kind of happy one way or another. I'll be a little disappointed. I'll be a little happy at the same time. We'll talk more about that match in a little bit. The other big thing that happened today was, man, they made such a little deal of this. Such a little deal of it. Chad Gable returned. And I think they absolutely wasted his return. Let's just go in order of SmackDown, and then we will get to that. So we start off a little better today because like 1 or 2 minutes in, we already have Gunther kind of just tearing apart the announce tables and stuff. So I didn't have to watch every single WWE star walk in the building. So I was happy about that. We did have to see some walk in though, but at least the people that were walking in, it was kind of saying, yeah, this person's going to be in the King of the Ring tournaments tonight. So it was kind of more of letting us know who was in the tournament as opposed to just who's in the building. Anyways, Gunther, he's saying that he was cheated, he was robbed, and then Cody Rhodes comes out. What I didn't like about this was it felt fresh that we started SmackDown kind of hot with Gunther just going crazy, but then Cody Rhodes just walks down the ring, he's just all smiles, he's just signing autographs, there's no sense of urgency. I just want to see some urgency here. Cody Rhodes is getting punked out by Gunther on the microphone. He should be a little upset, but no, business as usual for Cody, just gonna kiss some babies and stuff, and it's like, oh man, that's the thing about SmackDown. It wasn't a bad SmackDown, but this is a complaint that I've been having lately with WWE as a whole. It's like there's no urgency. If you go back to the Triple A show, the Mask vs. Mask match, like, it was just moving along. There was urgency. We had to get to the next thing. The match is about to start. We're just gonna hit you with a guitar. You know, let's get going. We don't like you. I can't wait to fight you. Let's hurry up. Let's hurry up down the ring so we can fight each other. But that's not happening here. Cody's just like, hey guys, hey. So Cody walks to the ring. He talks about how sometimes you're the sausage and sometimes you're the butcher, you know. So, okay, Cody. And then they're arguing. Cody's like, I'll fight you, dude. I'll fight you. But then Sami Zayn comes out. And the European crowd loves Sami. And Sami's like, this is what I'm talking about. These are my ride or die. So that was funny. And Sami comes out and says, you know, you guys are like talking about each other, but what about me? What about me? You gotta, like, Cody, you said after you beat Gunther, you were going to teach me a lesson. Well, you beat Gunther, so teach me a lesson. Ooh, I like this, Sami. And then Gunther's like, shut up, Sami. This doesn't belong. It has nothing to do with you. And then he's like, yeah, you're right. The title doesn't. I've never been in the title scene, like, so I don't know about that, but I do know about beating ya, which is a reference to WrestleMania 40 when Sami Zayn beat Gunther for his Intercontinental title in that 666-day title reign. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then Gunther basically, they start fighting. Gunther attacks. He'll push Cody into Sami. He'll eventually, I think Cody will accidentally hit Sami Zayn also, and Gunther's going to laugh and run away. And at one point he does get him in the sleeper, and Sami does save him. But when Cody accidentally hits Sami, Sami's like, dude, I saved you. Last 2 weeks ago when I didn't save you, you complained, and now I saved you and you attacked me. And Cody's like, man, I didn't mean to. And Sami's like, whatever. And he goes to the back. Now, later, Gunther will threaten Nick with his lawyer saying, I deserve a title shot, and Nick eventually acquiesces and will give it to him. He tells Cody that. It's like, next week we're going to find out what that title shot, the stipulation is, and then the following week we're actually going to have the match. So it looks like we're going to have a free WWE TV match. Hopefully Gunther wins it there. But the important thing here is also Sami Zayn is super mad, beats up a water bottle, talks to planking Johnny Gargano. How did Johnny Gargano get into customs, by the way, if he can only lay sideways? he goes to Nick Aldis, right? And he's like, Nick, he's like, I don't got time for you, Sammy. Nick, you got time for everybody else. He's like, I don't got time. I got an important meeting. Sammy's like, who you got to talk to? And he turns around and there's Chad Gable. It's like, whoa, Chad Gable, you know, one of the Mask vs. Mask guys, El Grande Americano, the OG, coming off of huge, like just a huge buzz. Why did we reintroduce Chad Gable in a backstage segment? The crowd popped for him, right? But could you imagine if he had entered into the arena and not just on the Titantron? That would have been freaking huge. We should not have introduced him backstage. Like, this would have been like a big deal. I don't care what the first time we saw Chad Gable back on American TV should have been in the ring, saving someone, beating up someone, doing something. Or his music just hit. His music just hits and he opens the show because, like, we wasted that pop. We wasted that pop on a backstage segment. Him and Sammy, they kind of stare at each other, and then Chad Gable goes in the back with Nick. And then later we further just don't capitalize on the momentum that Chad has built. In that we have Rey Fenix, who did win the Cruiserweight AAA title, I believe. He's talking to Axiom, and then suddenly Chad Gable appears. And Chad Gable says, can I have a word? They leave, Axiom leaves, and he's like, listen, we had a banger match like 2 years ago. I started the Grande Americano thing as a joke, as to make fun of you guys, but the more I got into it, the more I realized Lucha was great. I came to Italy to apologize to you man to man. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Like, oh my gosh. Chad Gable should have went right to Penta, walked right up to Penta on Raw and said, I want your title. The reason Chad Gable put on the mask was basically he wasn't able to beat any luchadors, but the last luchador he couldn't beat was Penta. So that's what sent him to Mexico. That's what got him the Grande Americano mask. Why wouldn't he, now that he has, and when he was given the mask, he was told to beat Lucha, you must become Lucha, you must understand Lucha. So now that he does understand Lucha, he became Lucha, full circle, have him go up against Penta, who is the champion. But no, now he's just apologizing to every luchador? Because like, Phoenix was like, I forgive you. No. We should have had Chad Gable. Let's say you don't want Chad Gable to take the title off Penta, because there's a lot going on with Penta right now. Make Chad Gable the scourge of the luchadors. We could have every luchador right now in WWE a storyline, because Chad Gable comes back from AAA and he's still got a chip on his shoulder. He's like, you know what? I'm back. I conquered AAA, and now I'm going to conquer every luchador here. And he just starts beating up every luchador as Chad Gable. And then it could end with him and Penta at SummerSlam or something like that. You know what I mean? Just have Chad Gable just on a tear. But, like, he just comes and apologizes? Like, what kind of, like, is that interesting? An apology? How is that interesting? Like, no, do something spectacular with him. But not just, hey, man, I'm sorry. Gee golly, I'm sorry. He should be mad now. Just continue that. Rage over here. I am absolutely sure, yes, the fans might have popped for his return, but I'm sure it could have turned around real quick. Had he done something, like, really heinous. Like, he's a really good villain. He should be beating up every luchador because he lost his mask. Yeah, I lost my mask. I don't need a mask to beat up luchadors. I spent a whole year as a luchador. Let me show you what I learned. And he's just ankle locking everybody. Like, that could have been a story right there. But no, I'm sorry. I forgive you. You gotta apologize to others because they need to forgive you too. Like, Man, we're like, there's just a lot of goodwill based off of that AAA story, and it could have carried over here, but no, it's like we have something great, and we just don't go all in on it. We just don't. Okay. Anyways, what else happened? We had Cody walks out, he's smiling, Sami Zayn, Miz and Danhausen. Okay, so this is cheesy, this is campy, but I don't know why. Danhausen, no matter how stupid and ridiculous he is, he makes me laugh. I like him. We have Miz talking to Kit Wilson, and Kit's like, Miz is like, how come you can't, you're not in town yet? He's like, because they wouldn't let my four emotional support cats come. And he's like, oh my gosh. And then Miz goes to where Danhausen is. He's about to undo the cover to whatever Frankenstein gingerbread man that Danhausen's making. Danhausen comes out. And he's like, don't touch that. And Miz is like, oh, you don't like people touching stuff? And he starts touching everything. And Danhausen's like, don't do that. And then Miz grabs a plug. And he's like, duh. That's dumb. And honest to God, like, if it was probably any other two wrestlers, I probably would have thought it was stupid. In any other era, even, I probably would have thought it was stupid, but for some reason I laughed and I thought it was okay. Very childish, and I could understand that people didn't like it, but I actually did like it, and I'm sorry, I'm part of the problem. Bayley, Kiana James, Raquel, and JC Jane. Raquel Rodriguez won. I'm okay with Raquel Rodriguez won. I still don't understand why Liv Morgan is in this tournament, but Raquel wins. I don't understand, though, why we have Julia at ringside, but JC Jane, who has no problems using the numbers games, doesn't bring her faction out. That doesn't make sense right there. I don't understand why Liv Morgan doesn't stay, unless Liv Morgan just didn't want Raquel to win, but we should have seen Liv say something about that. And then Bayley, why doesn't she bring Lyra? Because Julia came. It'd be one thing if Nick said nobody could be at ringside, but because Julia came, that means Lyra should have came. That means Liv should have came, or Roxanne should have came, or the Fatal Influence should have came. But no, just Julia. Raquel will win, and Raquel will do a crossbody on two wrestlers at one time, and they did that 3 times tonight. Literally 3 times on one evening, we had a wrestler jump off of something and do a double crossbody on 2 people. It's like, don't do that. Agents, you need to talk to each other. And after the match, Raquel wins. After the match, we have Kiana start berating Julia, and then Julia attacks her. So that is finally broken apart. We'll see. And Julia does have a new look. So it looks like Julia is now a babyface. I'm glad they're making her a babyface. She has a lot of personality. I would like to see what she can do. Rhea Ripley comes out, and she is just not good on the microphone. Stop letting her have the microphone. You wanna like, get her some like improv classes, because she was at one point, she's like, Jade tried to use the numbers games on me, but she couldn't use the number games on me, and I'm still the champion. And that was like her big punchline of her whole interview. I'm like, oh, this is bad. Don't let her speak. She has a great connection with the crowd. Just stop having her speak, because it doesn't do her any favors. And then Charlotte comes out, and Charlotte says, I know you didn't ask for help, but she did ask for help. Rhea actually said she called Charlotte Flair on the post-Italy show, but Charlotte says, no, or Charlotte denies it, basically. She's like, I know you didn't ask for help, but I came out to help you anyways. So then there's inconsistencies there. Then Tiffany comes out, and Tiffany and Charlotte are like, you here to apologize? Like, no. Jade, Meacham, and B-Fab come out, and then Charlotte's like, okay, I'm gonna team with Tiffany because I guess Rhea's injured or something, not cleared. I didn't like that Tiffany and Rhea were Charlotte and Rhea are suddenly friends, and now Charlotte and Tiffany are suddenly friends. I get it, Charlotte's a good guy, but let's not just have her team up with all of her old foes, because then when they all turn heel on each other again, it's like, wait, you guys are just friends. It's like there should be animosity still. Just because, look at Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are technically both good guys right now, but there's still animosity between them. right? And that's what Charlotte should have with her former foes. But no, we don't do that. And they're just teaming up. Jade will pin Tiffany. Don't like when the champion gets pinned. Tiffany just won the belt 2 weeks ago, and now she's taking a pin 3 weeks ago. So okay, interesting. Chelsea Green wants Tiffany to come out and help her, but Tiffany says no. Chelsea will lose to Lash Legend. Probably the right call there. Lash Legend is pretty new to the roster, and Lash Legend won. Probably the right call. Though I would like to see Chelsea move up also. Wonder what they're doing with Chelsea and Tiffany. Maybe, I know what they're doing. Blake Monroe, she actually started kind of calling out Tiffany Stratton today. Instead of Tiffy time, you run on Monroe minutes. I bet this is about to happen. Monroe comes out and attacks Tiffany, right? And they're very similar. Even Monroe was like, it's like looking in a mirror. So Tiffany not being friends with Chelsea Green will push Chelsea Green to be Blake Monroe's friend. There you go. That's the call right there. Watch that happen. I wouldn't mind that, actually. We got then Fatal Influence takes out the Bella and Brie Bella and Paige. Okay. We have Ricky Saints will beat Carmelo Hayes. It's like, okay, yeah, Carmelo Hayes seems to own the only feuds Carmelo Hayes can get in are like best of 7, best of 3 matches, it seems like. But we have Ricky Saints. He needed the win. Ricky definitely needed this win. He does pull the tights of Carmelo Hayes, so that just keeps going. I did like Trick Williams when he was watching the match, he was like, keep fighting, peasants. Afterwards, I like that. I like that. Do we have anything else that was going on before we talk about Trick Williams and everything? No, I don't think so. Oh, Solo. Okay, yes, we do got something. So, Talatonga fought Royce Keys. And then he's getting beat up, and Talatonga is going to beat Royce Keys. I was surprised. I was very surprised by that. He won basically because, there was distractions. Solo, Tamatonga, but Talatonga beat Royce Keys. So I guess there's no undefeated people right now. So we got rid of his undefeated streak. But I think Royce actually lost to Gunther like 2 or 3 weeks ago too. So Royce loses to Talatonga. I was surprised, but okay, I guess. And then Truth tries to help him, but Damian Priest takes Truth away. And then they beat him up. Head scratcher. Later, Solo will go to Royce, and he's like, nobody's here to help you. And Jacob is gone now. He's bowing down to Roman. You need to side with me. And what I didn't like about this was Royce was just like, when he saw Solo come up to him, he's just like, you better have something important to say. Why wouldn't Royce just attack Solo? Solo jumped him earlier. He's alone. Why would Royce even let Solo speak? But he did let Solo speak, and Solo gave him an ultimatum, which he's been giving him an ultimatum for about a month now. And, yeah, so that happened. Then we go to the final match, which is the Fatal 4-Way between Bron Breakker, Damian Priest, Dirty Dom, and Trick Williams. Everybody did a fine job. Though Breakker botched like 2 moves, but they were kind of dangerous. One time he dropped Damian Priest right on his head, basically. I was like, ooh, be careful, dude. So like I get it, mistakes happen and stuff, but like I think we like more house shows or more something, because I don't want these guys to hurt themselves. It was a fine match. And Dirty Dom won. We already talked about Dirty Dom winning. Very surprised. Could you imagine though, Bron Breakker versus Obafemi? That would have been neat. But I am enticed by Dirty Dom versus Obafemi. Will Brock attack? Will we get King Dom? I don't know. But that was your SmackDown. It was all right. Just a lot of entrances, a lot of like showing Italy, showing a family that won a trip to Orlando, just showing the crowd, letting the crowd sing a lot and stuff. So just a lot of wasting time to get to the matches. But if we didn't have that wasting of time, and we just kind of chugged along, this would have been a really solid episode of SmackDown. very solid. I've determined now it's about the pacing, and it's the pacing that sucks. It's the pacing that brings it down. This 3-hour show could have been an hour and a half. So, like, I'm going to give this, I'll still get, I don't know how many chops I'm going to give it, because I watched it commercial free, so that helped a lot. I'll just give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's some good stuff. There was some good stuff. But like Chad Gable, maybe 6. Maybe like 6.8. 6.8. How about that? The Chad Gable thing sucked though. We really wasted some that shine of his mask versus mask match. Like he should have reappeared in the ring, and he should have been attacking luchadors. So, all right, boys, all right, girls. Let me know what you feel about SmackDown in the comments below. See you, bye.